Okay. And let's see. Sweep 2 will be me. If no one else is there someone else who would like to rend a melee DPS? Just carry lost rend armor instead of one of your two damage actions. And you'll be applying a debuff to the bosses that makes them take 10% more damage for 30 seconds. Okay, Tequili Indira will be Rend 2. And so you'll basically use Rend armor after the first one falls off. So like, OnlyFans will rend the boss at the start of the fight, and then 30 seconds later, you'll use yours and then alternate from there. Okay, we figured out, yeah, no need for pseudo healers. I think all of our parties, I mean, oh yeah, only A and B are have a lower amount of tanks. Okay, so we're fine. And oh yeah, Spellforge and Steel Sting. So healers in your party, please discuss with your co-healer who's going to bring Lost Spellforge and who's going to bring Lost Steel Sting in their bag to be slotted in at the second boss, which is the Queen's Guard. And yeah, so we're gonna go in as soon as possible. So please just check up your holster, put a Pure Essence and Re-Razor in it, and at the very least, just make sure that your box has everything. And yeah, we're gonna go in. Whenever Charlotte gets back, then I will cue us in. Blind is good. So, like, the intention is to, provide minimal explanations, or, I mean, maybe not so minimal depending on your point of view, but just coming into this with no prior knowledge, just the actions that you need, and we'll go as far as we can. And I will do my best to provide calls. Did Charlotte say BRB in party chat? It's all right. Oh yeah, I should confirm actually. Yeah, was there anyone who wanted to prog the duel? Yeah, speak now or forever hold your peace. Yeah, proggers do have priority to attempt the duel encounter. Just the only risk is that if you die, there's no way that we can save you. Yeah, winning the duel means that you gain a double damage and double HP buff. You generate a piece of loot for the raid. But yeah, I would recommend having at least just studied a little bit, just to know what to expect in the duel. Yeah, right now Valagnar is anchored, so it's looking like it's going to be a Valagnar duel, which they're playing tank, but that's fine. There are enough tanks on Golem's side, and there's also Himbo in the party. Although they want to do...
I just do it on the first two bosses and the Aether Shield after.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Oh, and just to not to understate the risk of Impetus BR, I recognize a lot of names in E, but just in case anyone wasn't sure, if you have Lost Swift applied to you while you're forced marching, you'll just march the entire length of the arena and run into a death wall. So that is the danger of having someone using Impetus in your party. Just as long as you know that and you consented, then I'll let Himbo do the funny strat, because it's pretty fun. Oh yeah, that's right, you're not even doing it on TA. Yeah, you can use a macro like yeah, you can just put that in a macro, put it on your hotbar, and like spam it. But it's a PvP action, like fundamentally. So that's why it's generally banned. But of course, it only affects the people in the party, and there is a good reason to use it if your name is Himbo Hooters. Okay, another ready check is going out. And hope Charlotte is feeling better. And of course, this is not like some serious event, so if you really do need to go for any reason, whatever you need to do is probably more important than DRS. But with that said, let's at least get into the instance and have some fun. And you'll also need to switch back to a combat job in order to enter the instance. So whenever, oh yeah, okay, everyone is ready, and whenever Ori is back on Dancer, yeah, okay. We are entering the instance now. Please click commence. Please tab into the game and click commence. "47 out of 48. One more person? Very well. So the first thing you're doing in the instance is using your Pure Essence and Resistance Re-Raiser, and slotting your starting lost actions. After you're finished using your pre-holster, you will go to the box at the bottom of the stairs and fill back up to maximum capacity. Do not jump on the glowing pads. We are going to confirm that all parties are ready before proceeding. Also beware that the first encounter is a coordinated split encounter that begins whenever one side opens the door. So do not open the door until we reach the end of the raid-wide countdown. Oh, let's put up my markers. Okay, and I'll have Suite 3, Lorian, please confirm that you have Perception Holster. And as well as me. Suite 2, confirming Perception and Holster. So if you've stepped away from the cache, you can click on your Lost Finds Holster button. Just make sure that it contains everything that you expect it to contain, because jumping with like a less than full holster is a very painful experience. And at this time also, okay. We're gonna buddy check our parties. Make sure that everyone is using a Pure Essence and Re-Razor. So let's see.
I am the duelist. I will not be having a pure.
Oh yeah. Vilagnar, if they're starting in irregular, like they know what they're doing, they are an exception. Yeah, and if more than like two people, or sorry, if more than one person doesn't have a Pure Essence active that should have a Pure Essence active, we're just gonna re-instance and get them what they need. So yeah, that does not include our duelists because they need a special setup. Okay. Very good. Thank you for applying Pure Essence. So just one more. Valtos, Vlanthor. If you have a Pure Essence in your holster, a Pure Essence of the Elder, please pick that up and activate it. Because it is required to survive damage in Delubrum Reginae. And it's also required to apply Cure 4 to the party, or the Bravery buff from Cure 4 to the party. Okay, so you do not have a Pure Essence of the Elder. Okay, yeah, so is that two people? Okay, and what is that, Alliance D? Like, did they specifically explain that they're like using a... Actually, yeah, we have two people without Pure Essence, so we're just gonna re-instance at this time. So like we can't trade in DRS, so we're gonna have Tiny Ted and Valtos Vlanthor. We're gonna give you Pure Essence fragments, and then we're gonna go back in. And like everyone else who maybe they only had like one or two Pure Essence fragments, we can also give you stuff. But yeah, so I don't want to go in two people without a Pure, not including our duelists. Yeah, so I'm exiting the instance. If you come to Fairy on Ether, then there are people here who can give you Pure Essence fragments, including me, including Himbo. Yeah, like you really need to know what you're doing before you take any essence that isn't pure into DRS. And especially like a healer using Profane, they're not a healer. They are a green DPS. They cannot really do healer duties. The most important of which is raising, because resurrection is restricted in DRS. Are they in voice?
The healer is. I don't know about the other person.
Yeah, Valtos is in voice. Okay. Okay, and here, so that's one. If you need a pure essence, or if you're running low on pure essence, then you need to speak up and find me on Ferry.
Same with
So
cares
let's-
if you're low in re-raisers.
Exactly, yeah. So like Evict also needs some stuff. Yeah, we can get you pure essences. And who else? Oh, Valtos, right? Needed fragments for Elder. Where is Valtos? Yeah, if you could come to Gangos on Ferry, that is where most of us are. So if you... Oh. Who's trading? Okay. Oh, okay. I mean, you don't need to trade them back. You can keep them if you want. Yeah, here's Valtos. Clarity, right? Yeah, Clarity gives Elder. Yeah, it's a good idea to appraise outside. It's on the off chance that you have incredibly awful luck. Like, you don't want to have to re-instance again. Yeah, if you're running low on resistance re-raisers, you should also trade me, because I will give you free fragments of care. And let's see, what do you need? Oh, actually, what job are you playing? Oh, just cares. Okay. I'm going to send out another ready check. And the purpose of this ready check is to confirm that you have the correct pure essence for your role in your box, and that you have enough resistance re-raisers as well. So I'd say at least 8 resistance re-raisers in your box. Please answer no to this ready check. You're missing the required items. Kara, okay, let's have and you can take some of these. Okay, Valtos also needs cares. That is okay. I would much rather just trade out here than re-instance again. Oh. I think Wobble is hooking him up. as well as Javari. If you need anything, then we can give you what you need. I spotted one Inuchio Maeda among us, and I wonder if they're streaming. Okay,
They
they're
aren't
not.
on the run though.
Yeah, but they're just standing in Gangos. All right. I'm sending out another ready check. Yeah, and if you do not if you need fragments, then come to Ferry. Travel worlds to Ferry, and then meet the raid in Gangos. Oh, I guess the people who are missing fragments got what they needed. In that case, as soon as this ready check finishes, we're going to go back in and make sure that you have a Pure Essence and Re-Razor. Preferably just keep them in your pocket, but they have to be in the box available for 2. One out of 48 not ready, so when Evict gets back, we will go back in. Okay. So we are entering the instance. This time, you should have your Pure Essence and Re-Razor, unless you're the duelist. So as you have already popped your starting actions, just go ahead and reuse your Pure Essence and Re-Razor again. And once again, once you're finished filling up back to maximum capacity, go back to the waymark of your team, buddy check your party, make sure everyone has applied a Pure Essence and Re-Razor, and then we'll eventually run ready checks. I'm going to be right back. 1 minute. I am back. Cache is not yet clear. Or I guess it's just those 3 from E. Let's go ahead and have all parties run ready checks. Anyone from the party can do so. Just after your team is ready, report the letter of your team in shout chat and that you're ready. Oh, and I guess I should, yeah, again, confirm Sleep 2 Percept is in holster. Okay. Alpha ready, Bravo ready, Charlie ready, Delta ready, Foxtrot ready, and Echo ready. All teams are ready this time. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, jump down to the left pad. Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, jump down to the right pad. If you're in alliances, Delta, Echo, or Foxtrot, please jump down a voice channel to the Golem Gulag gang, where you will probably receive directions. Everyone else, I'm now speaking to Slime side only. So, let's get some people on markers. I need 1 tank, 1 healer, and 3 DPS on each of the numbered markers. So, there's Rue. Okay, I'll be over here. Okay, we've got 1 tank, 1 healer southwest, 1 tank and 1 healer southeast, 1 tank and 1 healer northeast, 1 tank, 1 healer northwest. And let's have how about we have Kind Drag come up to the 1 marker northwest. Southwest, we'll have 1 more. Can Star Lunaris join southwest at the 3 marker? Let's have Tequili join the 4 marker at southeast. And northeast has 2 DPS. Okay, and then yeah, just for clarity's sake, the 2 people, or I guess the 4 people left over, are going to be our hallway groups. So they are not in any of the rooms, but you still have a role. So let's talk about the encounter. This is Slime side, and the goal of this encounter is to explode viscous clots, green slimes, on the 4 green pads in the rooms to the north of us simultaneously. And so the way this will happen is that tanks and healers are responsible for growing green slimes. Green slimes drop in sets of 3 in the center of the hallway, and when they are aggroed to the same person for enough time, they begin to cast fusion and merge. When the fusion cast completes, the slime grows in size and it gains an HP boost and damage buff. And finally, in order to explode the slime needs to get up to +5. So as soon as the slime finishes its final fusion to merge up to +5, it's going to explode. So we need to coordinate when that happens. Healers are bringing 1 slime at a time from the middle of the hallway to the entrance of their room. At which point, tanks will use their ranged attack to take the slime off the healer. Tanks are holding the slimes dead center on the pads in each of the rooms. So, healers 1 slime at a time from the center of the hallway. Tanks 1 slime at a time from the healers that are bringing the slimes to the entrance to the room. Tanks will continue pulling slimes off their healer until their slime has reached +4 on its HP boost buff. So they're looking at the debuff bar on the slime, and there's an HP boost with a plus symbol on it, and the number next to it is 4. +4. Once your healer is carrying another slime, is on standby with the final slime, and the tank is holding a +4 slime, the next slime that is merged will cause the slime to cast Rupture. It'll explode. And so you can indicate that your team is ready to do the final merge by saying in chat, in Yell chat, something like NE 4+1, meaning northeast 4+1. So that's for the northeast room. And, you know, right. So it'll be your room's direction and then 4+1. And yeah, okay. DPS in rooms. Yeah. Or actually, let's see. What's this green slime question? No one should touch the green slimes in the hallways unless they're a healer. I mean, like, just if there are two of them aggroed on a healer, then like it's a judgment call. But like, don't try to fight for aggro. I think like usually the thing that you would do if two slimes are on a healer is just let them merge on the healer, and the tank will pull that group of two slimes when they're ready. But like basically, yeah, no one should be touching green slimes except for healers. And if there's really a disaster, then we'll just re-instance and go back in. But if we're careful, then that won't happen. So I need to talk about the rest of raid roles. DPS in rooms. There are 3 of you standing on the numbered markers. There are 3 of you each on the numbered markers. And your job is to kill red slimes. So there are viscous clots, and we like those. We want to grow them to a large size. There are red slimes, sanguine clots, that spawn in the rooms, and we hate those. We need to kill them. So sanguine clots, when they drop down into the room, DPS are going to run and hit it with any attack, any single target attack. The red slimes have tether aggro, so they will keep on attacking the first person to tap them. And then once the red slime is aggroed onto you, you're going to drag it all the way to the far outside corner of your room. So if you can check raid text chat in the Discord, that is where I'm posting many useful diagrams. And so the first one there is has role icons where they should be. DPS, you're tending towards the far outside corner of your room, tagging slimes and pulling them far away, where you will kill them with your rotation, and no lost actions should be necessary. Okay. Finally, north of hallway and south of hallway, so Alpha and Bravo, your job will be to kill Boston soldiers. So they will spawn on smaller glowing pads at the far north end and the far south end of the hallway. And they don't do much, but try to kill them where they stand. They do a point-blank AoE that does a knockback and gives doom. But basically the important thing is that they die. They try not to let them build up, and especially don't let them wander into the rooms and play golf with the slimes. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Since we do not have true tanks at north and south hallway, all tanks will have their stance on, but refrain from doing any self-healing abilities. Because heals with potency with stance on will rip aggro from the soldiers, because you might see them on your aggro list. So, like Equilibrium, Raw Intuition, I think even like Soul Eater would probably generate some aggro. But yeah, be just to control your self-healing, let your healers do the healing for you, because healers will not rip aggro with their healing. Yeah, and otherwise be very careful with AoE heals. DPS in the rooms, you want to really stay far away from the center of the hallway. You want to be all the way in the corner of the room. And definitely, like, no one should be passing through the center of the hallway while we're building slimes. Like, aggroing extra green slimes is a great way for an early merge and an early wipe. So one more thing that we need to talk about is entry and exit procedure. So there are 3 traps in this in the area in front of us. There's 1 trap in the center hallway, which I will pop. There are another 2 traps split between the 4 rooms. And so in order to make your room safe for your team to proceed, tanks are going to use their invuln to cover both trap locations. When they get to the entrance to their room, they're going to activate their invuln, activate sprint, and go straight across from the entrance of the room to the back. It's either directly west to east or directly east to west. And if you are confused about the trap route, you can check the raid text chat, which shows the 2 trap locations. So after you've run over both of those trap locations, your room will be free of traps guaranteed. And healers, just make sure to keep an eye on your tanks. Make sure they do not like die to poison or anything. Yeah, I guess I'll also ask Jagged just to keep an eye on Northwest Room. And if I activate Living Dead, I may need a Benediction. Okay, so red slimes need to die. Sanguine clots, they're dropping like one at a time into the rooms. Like you'll see there's just a sound effect, it drops from the ceiling and then it appears in the room. So tag it, you drag it out to your corner, and then you kill it with the rest of your DPS teammates. So that is sanguine clots, red slimes. Viscous clots in the center of the hallway, green slimes. Those are not things that we need to DPS, and they don't have much health. We need to just use the minimum tag with your like your Dosis, your Malefic, Royal Glare. Just the basic healer attack is what you're going to use to tag a slime and bring it to the entrance to your room. Then like tanks, again, we're not doing a bunch of damage to these green slimes. Just toss a ranged attack. And yeah, I think I've covered everything. Actually, I should pull up my notes. If you have a question, then please put it in chat, in say or in yell. If you have a question about what your role is doing, if you're confused about what you should be doing, please ask. All right, yeah. So, right, exit procedure. So once we've completed the final merge with the 4 tanks, once the 4 tanks, so the call to merge will be something like this. All rooms are ready. Tanks, target your final slime. And 3, 2, 1, provoke. Merge, merge, merge. So on that call, all tanks are just they're gonna target the final viscous clot and pull it onto the pad. They're gonna merge their +4 slime with the regular slime dead center on the pad, centered both on the pad. And shortly after that fusion cast, the slimes are going to start exploding, at which point we need to run to this flagged location in chat. They're going to run all the way out of range of the explosion AoEs. So, yeah. Right, and so that will also be how we signal Golem side. Let's... Right, so I talked... Oh, yeah. Just, I guess, yeah, all teams can run ready checks. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and report in yell chat. Right, and just to confirm, people on the 1 marker, you're going to the northwest room. People on the 2 marker, you're going to the northeast room. People on the 3 marker, you're going to the southwest room. And people on the 4 marker, you're going to the southeast room. Okay, and Alpha is ready, Charlie is ready, Bravo is ready. Okay, all tanks, stance on, 30 seconds on the board. The first thing is going to happen is trap sweep, so do not run ahead of the tank in your room. Wait for them to pop invuln and sweep for the traps. I'm going to sweep the trap in the hallway and then northwest. You do not need to use lost actions. Middle trap has been popped. Red slimes are out. DPS, tag them and pull them to the corner of your room. I need a benediction. Thank you. And healers, you can start tagging viscous clots that are dropping in the center of the hallway and pulling them to your tank. Red slimes are out. DPS, tag them and pull them to your room, to the corner of your room. Yeah, and Arachne, you can try not to go too far into the center of the hallway, but what you're doing right now is good. Red slimes are out. DPS, tag them and pull them to the corner of your room. Tanks, when your slimes start to merge up to +3 on the HP boost buff, start rolling through your mitigations. Red slimes are out. DPS, tag them and take them to the corner of your room. And healers also, just keep an eye on your tanks. Make sure that you're keeping yourself healed, keeping your tank healed. And tanks, when your slime reaches +4 on its buff, you're going to stop merging and hold until all rooms are ready. Red slimes are out. Tag them and pull them to your corner. So, yeah, Arachne, just keep that final slime far away from this Viscous Clot. Go all the way to the corner, the north corner of the room. Go to the north corner of the room. Okay, that should be fine. And northwest is 4+1. Southeast is 4+1. Keep your tanks healed and keep yourselves healed. Okay, cancel. Southeast is not 4+1. Southwest is 4+1. Northeast is 4+1. Waiting for southeast. Okay, all rooms are ready. Tanks, target your final slime. And oh gosh, that's why I wanted you to go to the north corner. But yeah, okay, just merge. Go, go, go. We're gonna go for it. Yeah, maybe. Hopefully that was 10 seconds. Sure. Yeah, so I wanted you to go to the north corner of that room there, because that is far from the center of the hallway. Okay, Rupture! We're running north. Okay, never mind, that was perfect timing. Everyone, abandon position. We're running north into the end of the bridge. Thank you for calling Rupture. You need to go all the way to the end of this bridge. If you see healers, if you see people in your party that are lagging behind, then rescue them. And let's see how we did. We were waiting for things to explode. I forgot to build Gauge. Okay, please just check that your party's alive, but we have completed the encounter. A is alive, B is alive. And yeah, I'm just guessing C is alive. Sure. Head on up. Well done. Well done, Slime side. Well done to Golem side, who's coming back up. At the bottom of the stairs are 2 chests. This is personal loot. You have to pick it up for yourself. No one else can loot it for you. And let's just make sure that everyone... Okay, it's just Charlotte in Golem's voice. They can come back whenever they're ready. And sure, if you'd like to main tank for the night, then please go up ahead, or just please stand like next to me. And otherwise, oh, Rue? Okay, let's have Rue be our main tank for the night. Yeah, if someone's giving out Shell 1, that's not a very useful buff to have here. And also there is a buff limit for, you know, the parties with a lot of like damage buffs that they want to apply. Any extra buffs are they can take away from that limit and potentially cause you to miss like powerful buffs. Also, Shell 1, like really we just use Shell 2 because it's strictly better. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I will back you up, Brew. And yeah, so let's talk about Trinity Seeker. This is a pretty straightforward boss. It's similar to normal mode, but it's faster and has fewer tells. It has a mechanic called Fourfold Mercy, where he's in his katana form and he does 4 slashes, and the order is telegraphed by his swords glowing up. And so I will call that boss relative. So if you're looking at the boss's hitbox, the sides in front of the boss are what I will call to be safe. So for example, it may sound something like left, left, right, right. And so in order to be safe, you would start on the left side of the boss, and then after 2 hits, you'd cross over to the right side of the boss and be safe. Or it might sound something like front, back, back, front. And finally, like if we see it, there might be an off-center Fourfold Mercy, and that may be, I may make a call that's something like inside, inside, outside, outside. And so that's referring to inside of the arena, which is close to center, and outside of the arena, which is far from the center. But basically, it's going to be boss relative calls. So front, back, left, right, I will say which sides to stand on in order. If you are, oh yeah, and resurrection restricted, so I talked about this a little bit, but Like normal resurrection actions do not work in DRS. And so what this means is that healer LB3 is extremely valuable. So do not use DPS LB3. It is a worthless amount of DPS, and do not use tank LB because the situations in which it is useful are very few and far between, and you would need to specifically know the timing and that it would save a lot of people. So LB is for healers. Limit Break 3 is for healers to press, and I will make the call out. If there's a mechanic in progress, then I'll try to tell you to hold until after. So if you are ready, please stand on the ignore 1 marker. Please stand on our main tank if you are ready. Okay, and that's Charlotte. They can do what they need to do, and we're going to start the fight. 30 seconds on the board. Our main tank should have their stance on. If you do not wish to turn your stance off, please use food, and please use lost action. If you have potions, then put them on your bar and use them, because this fight has an enrage. Yeah, LB3 is purely based off of like average weapon item level in the party. So it does about as much as a Madare. This is a raid wide. Please check your tank stance. And Rue, you can invoke back whenever. This is fourfold Mercy. Single movement, back, front. Start behind the boss and then cross over after 2 hits. It's easier to dodge if you're close. 1, 2, cross over. Now look away from the orb and get away from the flower. The flower resolves last. Look away from the orb. Get close to the boss. And get inside the boss's hitbox now. Inside the boss's hitbox is safe. Okay, where is ignore 1? Tanks to the outside of the arena and pop a cooldown. This is a shared tank buster. Okay, everyone clear front. Rue needs to be alone. Or you will kill everyone. Stack up. We are baiting chains. Wait for chains to appear. Break your chains and get knocked into a barrier. Stand in front of a barrier. Numbered markers are safe. Stand in front of a barrier. Back on the boss. Get to the center of the arena. This is Ifrit dashes. Outside is unsafe. Okay, in front of the barrier at 3. Go to 3. In front of the barrier at 3. Then we're going counterclockwise. And behind the barrier at 2. We're ending behind the barrier at 2. And back on the boss. Okay, we're stacking up. Stack up on 2. This is a line. Shared damage. Stack up on 2. And we're going to stay stacked. Oh, I should give myself the triangle. And we're going to stay stacked. Move out of the orange. And be on sand. Sand is safe. Be on sand. Sand is safe. And I think we're seeing the next mechanic. Okay, next is tethers. They're cones that come from the center of the arena. There's going to be sand or stone safe at the same time. Be on stone. If you're tethered, go away from the raid. Be on stone. If you're tethered, go away. Okay, be on sand. If you're tethered, then go away. Okay, move out of the orange and try to move the boss to center and face a cardinal. Okay, be intercardinal of the boss. Boss is a little bit tilted away from the boss. It's doing a plus-shaped AoE, intercardinal of the boss. And get close to the center of the arena. I think next is Ifrit Dashes and Fourfold Mercy. Yep, so stack up in the center of the arena. Okay, in front of the barrier at 2. Get in front of the barrier at 2. And we're resolving swords after. And it's going to be a double movement. Front, back, back, front. So back on the boss. We're crossing over after the first and third hit. 1, cross over. 2, 3, cross over again, and then look away from the orb and get away from the flower. The flower resolves last. You're resolving crisscross. Oh, never mind. It's just flower resolves last. We're going to stack up and then break our chains. Break your chains. Next is a raid wide and a tank buster. This is a raid wide. And next is a tank buster and it cleaves. And now get next is Sand and Stone and Fourfold. Okay, left, left, right, right, single movement. Crossover after 2 hits. Be on sand, boss's hitbox is stone. 1, 2, cross over and end on stone. Boss's hitbox is stone, be on stone. 1 more mechanic. Be on stone, boss's hitbox is stone. Then you're gonna look away from the orb and get away from the flower. Flower resolves last. You're resolving crisscross, then orange, and then flower. And we are not going to hold DPS. Get close to the boss. Get close to the boss. This is a raid wide. We are not holding DPS. Kill the boss. Okay, do not go ahead. There are traps up ahead. We need to wait for our Perceptor to sweep for traps. Everyone else, we are going to resolve deaths in the arena. So please observe Resurrection Protocol. Claim a body by standing on it, and then slotting in your plate of Lost Arise. After you've used 5 charges of Lost Arise, step off the body and let another healer take a crack. And it looks like all traps have been percepted. So Duelist Party, do whatever you need to do to begin the duel. And yeah, do not engage any other encounters. We're going to wait for deaths to be resolved. We're going to wait for the duel to begin. One more death. Reminder to pick up your chest. There is personal loot at the end of the fight, and it contains a foot plating upgrade token to contribute to making your gear dyeable. Your Law's Order. Okay, one more body. Okay, the duel has begun. We have one more body. So Lost Arise has a 10% chance of working in DRS if the user has a pure Essence of the Divine. If they do not have a pure Essence of the Divine, it has a 0% chance. And also, normal resurrection actions have a 0% chance of working in DRS. So the only other 4 ways to pick a body up off the ground are the re-raise buff, which comes from your Resistance Re-Raiser. Dynamis Dice Healer LB3, Regular Healer LB3, and Lost Sacrifice. So make your way carefully past the traps. Do not step into the traps. We're heading to the right.
I just got DC'd.
Okay, that's all right. And thank you. If you died in the previous fight, you have a Re-Raiser in pocket. Then please apply a Re-Raiser. And which party had the DC? You can just say in chat, or in in shout chat or something. Alliance D. So Alliance D, when you're ready, just indicate. And congratulations to our duelist. Our duelist has succeeded. Okay, 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, so I mean, this boss doesn't drop. Okay, they're back. All right. All you need to know for this boss is that it has a mechanic called Spit Flame. It has limit cut style dice markers over your head. It's going to be a number of dots, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And right. So okay, what am I thinking? Okay. Numbers 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4. That's all you need to know. If you get marked with a number of dots, then you just go to the matching marker. If you're ready, then cross the purple line. Okay, and Himbo is sitting out. And yeah, you don't need to use lost actions unless you know that you have extra. Okay, waiting for Valtos and Iroha, or I guess no, Iroha's just doing. And Charlotte, if they're sitting out, then please indicate to do so. All right. Okay. First thing Dahu's going to do is drop 5 sets of orange puddles on the ground. So dodge them. Dahu's dashing. Dahu's going to turn it. Is dashing north. Don't be in front of Dahu. Don't be in front of Dahu. He's dashing again somewhere south. He's dashing straight south. Don't be in front of Dahu. And then follow him south. Okay, observe lions on the outside of the arena. They're going to shoot lions into the arena. And I think it's just 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, and 4 to 4. So if you have dots above your head, go kill a lion. Go stand on a lion and kill it.
Greedy.
That wasn't on me. Okay, dodge this shockwave. I have the VOD too. That wasn't on me. Okay, get knocked back into any safe spot. If you know the secret jutsu, then you can use it. Okay, and then don't stand in front of Dahu. Get behind Dahu. He's rotating clockwise. Second breath is safe for casters. Triangle is safe for casters. And next is ads phase. The ads do auto attacks. So keep the main tank healed, and main tank can pop a cooldown. Kill these last few ads. Okay, break time's over. We're gonna do all the mechanics at once. So, dodge the puddles. Dodge the left-right shockwave. Stay out of it and then move in. And now kill Dahu. Okay, we have one death. One death. And up ahead is a point of no return, so make sure that you've looted all of your chests. You cannot come back to this section of the raid after you take the pad. Okay, everyone has been rezzed. And, like, Dark Knight might need a heal at the pad. So, try to organize
got
that. Okay. Okay, cool. So, this is the Queen's Guard. Let's set up some rolls. Okay, I need let's have slime slide tanks be on A, golem slide tanks be on B. Yeah, Brew, you can take one. I'll take two.
Greedy, you villain.
Actually, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Actually, yeah, let's just have just tanks split up evenly between the Alpha and Bravo markers. Yeah, let's have all tanks up front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, that's all our tanks. And I'll mark some primary Aura Sphere takers. Oh, oops. And I don't think I've ever seen Lorian tank before. We'll give you
None
a
of us
special roll.
have.
And okay, sure. Oh right. I need some healers using Lost Spell to be on the D marker. Preferably 2 healers. Yep, and so you'll be responsible for dispelling the warrior during the first pair of bosses. Yeah, feel free to go BRB. And also, I'm gonna start by explaining just special roles. And yeah, let's have reflectors. So healers and anyone who has 6 light curtains, please call out in and shout chat. Reflect A through F. So we got C reflect, E reflect. Need Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot reflect, and you do not have to be the party that you're reflecting for. There's a diagram of reflect positions that I'll explain in further detail, but it is a good resource in Raid text chat. Actually, I just want to post my macro. Okay, who we got for reflect? Charlie, Echo, Bravo, Delta, Alpha. Need 1 more reflector to cover Foxtrot. Anyone can do it if you have Lost Reflect or if you have 6 Light Curtain. F reflect. Okay. So reflectors and takes on Alpha and Bravo, you are responsible during the final phase for reflecting aura spheres and invulning aura sphere. Did I say that wrong? Reflecting spiritual spheres and invulning aura spheres. So let's see, tanks first. If you're on the A marker, you're fighting for aggro on the northmost Aurasphere. And so whoever has top aggro at the end is going to get a marker over their head. It's a red, angry marker, and it's going to do about 250,000 damage to you. So when you see the red marker after the Aurasphere dies, you're going to press your invuln and survive the damage. Likewise on Bravo, all tanks there are going to turn on their tank stance and fight for aggro on the south Aurasphere and invuln the red marker when they see it. This is during the final phase. And this happens twice. So there's 2 North Auraspheres and there's 2 South Auraspheres, and they come one after another. So after one tank has expended their invuln, the remaining tanks will continue to fight for aggro and try to get hit by the second Aurasphere. Reflectors A through F, you're responsible for reflecting spiritual spheres. So when the final phase begins, there's going to be 12 spiritual spheres that spawn around the arena in the orientation, in the configuration that is posted in Raid text chat. And so you'll start at the spiritual sphere that is at the position of the letter that you called out. You'll activate Lost Reflect, or you'll activate your light curtain and wait for it to hit you. And then after the spiritual sphere dies, you'll reactivate Lost Reflect and go to the second sphere. And of course, if you know what you're doing, then you only need one cast of light curtain to do that. But if you're unsure, just press your reflect and reflect the orb. Stand on it, and it will die when it casts its AoE. And then just rinse and repeat. There's going to be another set of spiritual spheres. So just after you've taken care of the first set, there's a short break, and then do the same thing for the second set. Okay, and so that is the final phase organization. And oh yeah, tanks. So Hex 1 and Hex 2 are our main tanks. I'll be tanking the East boss. Brew will be tanking the West boss. And we are also responsible for taking aggro and invulning the gun turrets. And as for mechanics for everyone, this is the fight that Spellforge and Steel Sting is needed for. So all healers, please slot in Lost Spellforge or Lost Steel Sting at this time. If you're because the first pair of bosses will gain like a 99% damage reduction against either physical or magical damage. So we need to apply Spellforge to physical damage dealers and Steel Sting to magical damage dealers. Mixed damage type characters may need a reapplication of the buff during the fight. But the first application is going to be during the countdown to start the fight. And also, like you may need to click off the buff if you have the wrong one. If you need to switch back to dealing physical damage because you're a samurai and have Spellforge, or if you're a black mage and you need to switch back to dealing magical damage, then you need to click off Steel Sting. So there's a macro that can do both of these things for you that is also posted in Raid text chat, and I will call out what buff you need to have. You can click off your Pure Essence. You cannot click off your Re-Razor, but just take care when clicking off your buff. And yeah, so we have Spellforge and Steel Sting. Mechanics that everyone needs to know about are bomb mechanics and Mystadio mechanics. So during the first pair of bosses, either the bombs will be tethered, or we will be tethered, or both. So the rule to find the safe bomb that you need is double or nothing, go big. If both you and the bomb are tethered, you're going to a big bomb. If neither you nor the bomb are tethered, then you're going to a big bomb also. And if only one of you or the bomb is tethered, then you're going to small bomb. So double or nothing, go big. Second mechanic that everyone needs to know about is Mystadio mechanics, also known as show your hole. The gunner is going to apply this reading debuff to you, and it appears around your character as a 3/4 ring. It's like a 3/4 circle yellow ring, and it's the same as the debuff that you get in the Orbone Monastery versus Mystadio. It's also the same as the debuff that you get versus the Helldivers in Zadnor. And the way that you are safe is also the same. You need to point your hole to the source of damage. You need to show your hole first to the gunner that's going to be in the center casting Queen's Shot, and then to a turret on the wall. So you can also check Raid text chat for diagrams of where to look for the turrets. They're on the very outside edge of the arena, east and west. They zipper across the entire arena, so you need to stand dead center in front of a turret and point your hole to be safe. So I hear Spellforge and Steel Sting going out. All parties, please run ready checks and report in shout chat. Right, any of you have questions, now is a good time to ask. Alpha ready, Bravo ready, Charlie ready, Delta ready, Foxtrot ready. Echo waiting on 1. So, by the way, we have a successful duelist. So we are going to fight for aggro at the start of the fight. Start of the fight, all tanks will turn on their tank stance, except for our duelist, of course. And we are fighting for aggro to make sure they don't get slapped. So the first thing that happens after the countdown finishes is we pull them into a tight stack and fight for aggro. After the bosses jump away, the first pair of bosses, all tanks will turn stance off, except for Hex 1 and Hex 2. I will take the warrior to the Bravo marker, and then the knight will go to the center. Oh, and Rue, are you comfortable with the west main tank? Do you know the kind of thing? Just basically get back to the boss as soon as possible after mechanics finish, and during the second pair of bosses, don't leave the boss until, or just be aware that the boss will follow you until you get the reading debuff. So Dispel will be on the Queen's Warrior during the first pair of bosses. So after each major mechanic, it'll cast Boost. I will try to call out that the warrior is boosting and to dispel the warrior. And at that time, just target the warrior and click Dispel. It'll have like a 20-second buff that's ticking down, and just make sure that's dispelled before the next raid wide. Yeah, and finally, everyone with more than 2 light curtains. You are now an assistant reflector in the final phase. If you have extra light curtains, if you have more than 2 light curtains, and you see an orb that isn't getting reflected by a healer, then pop a light curtain and reflect the orb. But we do have assigned reflectors. Those are the primary responsibilities. But assistant reflectors, just reflect any orb you see, especially on the second set. Okay, Echo is ready. All teams are ready. 30 seconds on the board. Use food. Apply Spellforge and Steel Sting to your party. Reapply Spellforge and Steel Sting to your party. We need the fresh 5-minute timer. All tanks will have stance on. We are fighting for aggro at the start of the fight. Okay. Pull the bosses into a tight stack. First thing is a raid wide. This is a raid wide. This is a second raid wide. Okay, all tanks stance off except for Hex 1 and Hex 2. Hex 1 and Hex 2 should be the only people with their tank stance on. Okay, we are in Steel Sting. Click off purple, need yellow. We are in Steel Sting. We need Steel Sting. Please apply Steel Sting to Hex 2. Please apply Steel Sting to Hex 2. And this is Sword Omen. We are taking a bomb on the wall. If you're tethered, you're going to small bomb. If you're tethered, you're going to small bomb. And do not be in front of the knight. Get your bomb now. The center of the arena is not safe. The center of the arena is not safe. Take a bomb on the wall. Take a bomb on the wall. If you fall first, go to a place where a bomb just exploded. If you fall first, go to a place where a bomb just was. Okay, the knight is extremely high. All damage on the knight. All damage on the knight. Rend armor on the knight. The warrior is boosting. Dispel the warrior. And dispel the warrior now. This is a raid wide. And Nakahide, you can click off purple. Okay, bosses are about even. Split damage. If you're tethered, you're going to Swirly Wind Puddle. If you're tethered, you're going to wind, non-tethered to lightning. Tethers to wind and non-tethers to lightning. Okay, tethers to wind, non-tethers to lightning now. And then get close to the knight. To the center of the arena now. Get to the center of the arena. Close to the boss on the west side. Close to the boss. Oh wait, it's sword. Fuck. Okay. Okay, back on the bosses. Warrior is boosted. Dispel the warrior.
Warrior's very high.
Warrior, please.
Oh shit, warrior's
All
high.
on
Stop
warrior.
damage on the knight. Stop damage on the knight. This is a big burn. All damage on the warrior. This is a tank buster. Okay, we made it. Kill bosses. And it's going to be soldier to the wall, and then gunner to the center. Where is my brain? I don't know. This is fireball frogs. Small fireballs are going to show us the safe spot. Or small fireballs are going to turn into frogs and show us the safe spot. Okay, and the safe spot is north. Safe spot is directly north. Point your hole to the gunner in the center. Point your hole to the gunner in the center. Point your hole to the gunner in the center. And now to a turret on the wall. And this is a tank buster. This is a raid wide. The soldier is high. Damage on the soldier. And the bosses are about even, split damage. This is a gun turrets. Main tanks are going to pick up the gun turrets and invuln sniper shot. Main tanks get ready to invuln sniper shot. You can invuln now, main tanks. Hex 1 and Hex 2. Turrets need to die. Kill the turrets. This is a raid wide. Kill the west gun turret. And, wow, we're killing really fast. Okay, stop moving. Stop moving. Detarget your bosses and stop moving. This is Pyretic. And you may now return to the bosses. And we are giga skipping. So reflectors, get ready to get into position. Reflectors, get ready. Tanks, north and south, and turn your stance on. All tanks, turn on stance. All tanks, turn on tank stance and fight to receive the hit from the Aura Sphere. Except for Hex 1. Okay, do not get parried by the ethereal wards. Reflectors, reflect your orbs. Do not get parried by the ethereal wards when they cast Coat of Arms. Aura Spheres need to die. Kill the south Aura Sphere. Or kill, yep, Aura Spheres are dead. Do not get parried by the ethereal wards. Okay, second set of Aura Spheres. Tanks that you didn't use invuln. Okay, off the ethereal wards. Don't get parried. Tanks, if you didn't use your invuln, get back to the Aura Spheres, and we're killing the second set of Aura Spheres. Okay, kill the Aura Spheres, reflect the Spiritual Spheres. Kill the Aura Spheres, reflect the Spiritual Spheres. And if you have Healer LB3, then pop it, but I doubt it. Okay, if you have LB3, then use it. Otherwise, we're killing the bosses. And we are resolving one death. Okay. And if you see on the A marker, there's a golden chest that is courtesy of the duelist. So since the duelist won, they generated an extra piece of loot for us. So make sure to thank Valagnar Shade. We are resolving one more death. Okay, all deaths resolved. Let's move on ahead. And clear signs. So when we get to the Phantom Arena, make your way carefully and hug the walls down the side to, the 1 or 4 marker once I put up the markers. And... okay, where's Rue? There's Rue. Thank you for placing markers. And so, hug the wall and end up at the 4 marker. And if you are, if you're at the wall near the 4 marker, then you're ready. So have everyone come over to the 4 marker. At this time, please check your tank stance as well. Rue will be the main tank for the remainder of the solar tank encounters. Okay, and yep, so carefully make your way down the wall. Ooh. Okay, if E is ready, yeah, the people just standing at the front. Oh, we still have people running down. Okay, let's just run ready checks actually. So all parties run ready checks and report in shout chat when your team is ready. Alpha, Foxtrot, Bravo, Charlie, waiting for Delta and Echo. Delta's ready, Echo's ready. All teams are ready. So Rue will be pulling. Do not slot any new lost actions for this boss. Feel free to use whatever you have, or do no damage at all. The first thing it does is a raid wide. Okay, the safe spot is at 1. The safe spot is 1. Bad day. Oh, this is gonna be the greatest blood rage you've ever seen. Okay, yeah, we're walking our donut all the way down to the other side. Yep, and so stop on the A marker. Do not advance into the death wall. Yep, and then we're waiting for one more flash at Bravo. Okay, and we're heading to Bravo. And we're going back to Alpha. We're waiting at Alpha, because Alpha is safe. Three flashes, 2 more, 1 more flash. And we're moving to Bravo. Wow, that was a fumble. Oh no, Izumi! No! Okay, 2 more flashes at Alpha. We're moving back to Alpha. And the boss is going to do ads. You're going to kill the red ads and heal the white ads. So kill the bloody raids and heal the misty raids. And then repeat. This is the second set. Heal the misty raids. 1 more bloody raid. Final set. Do the same thing. and interrupt the Phantom. And I think we're skipping this mechanic. So burn the Phantom. The safe spot would be somewhere either 2 or 3. There are traps up ahead. Do not go ahead. I am slotting over Blood Rage Font of Power to sweep the traps. Okay. And traps upstairs have been popped, so upstairs is safe. The traps downstairs are required to complete the raid. So wait for traps to be percepted downstairs. Yeah, actually, I guess Himbo is still running. Oh, they're running Impetus. So if you need a Font of Power, you can get the evil version from me before I plot over Percept. Do you need a Mimic target? So, oh, Val? But I mean Val 1, right? Okay, there is a trap up ahead. Since I have valuable actions, I'm seeing if anyone needs me to Mimic. Or if you have Blood Rage, Font of Power, and are not Valagnar, please speak up so that I can plot over Percept without worry. Okay. We are percepting traps. So this is a nasty trap, so just be very careful around that. There are 2 more traps here. Okay, all traps have been percepted. And we are going to take a break on the bridge, 3 minutes, to get some water.
Big gulp.
I'm gonna need more water. Yeah, I still have a minute. Okay, refilling water. Okay. If you're here, then stand on the D-way mark at the back of the bridge. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much everyone. I did want to ask if you have Arise actions in your holster, then please post the count of your plates of lost Arise or plates of lost sacrifice or whatever in shout chat. I have a little format for Arise actions or raise actions. So if you check raid text chat, you can get some examples. It's just to confirm that we are healthy on raises. And in that case, if we are healthy, then healers can feel free to slot over their plates of Arise. But we'll see. And Mimic is also a raise action, because you can mimic a raise action. Yeah, maybe I should add that. Okay, but yeah, most important is Arise count, so let's see what I missed. Okay, I've determined that we are very healthy. So if you have damage actions that you'd like to replace as a healer, or if you have damage actions in your holster, then healers can feel free to slot over active plates of Arise. And since everyone is here, I will begin explanations. So, put up some markers and talk about the fight. So this is Trinity Avowed. It's a pretty difficult boss. It's the most mechanically intense for personal mechanics, especially if you don't have much practice. But the important thing to know is that just like normal mode, you have to neutralize your temperature. And in fact, this entire fight is just resolve your temperature 6 times, and then the boss enrages. So in raid text chat, a lot of diagrams have been posted. Under the heading starting with the Trinity Avowed, you can see some useful charts. The first one posted describes what you need to get hit by in order to get to neutral temperature. Because like normal mode, you have a temperature that appears above your head. Unlike normal mode, you also have a debuff called Elemental Brand. So starting during the second half of the fight, you will gain an Elemental Brand debuff. And this needs to be solved in addition to your overhead temperature, or else you will die. So you need to find out what you need to get hit by in order to resolve both your Elemental Brand and your overhead temperature. These debuffs appear next to your Resurrection Restricted and Duties as Assigned icons in your HUD layout. Okay, and second mechanic, or I guess, just quick overview. Oh, yeah. Second debuff mechanic is Forced March. So when the boss casts Quick March, you'll gain a debuff. And when the debuff expires, you will lose control of your character and march in the indicated direction 2 spaces. So if you direct your attention to the arena, there's this 5x5 grid of squares. So when I say 2 spaces or 2 squares, the 1 square length is a tile on the ground this distance. And I think it's 10 yalms because what? Yeah, that's like a 5-yard AOE. So it marches you 20 yalms. And so those are the 2 debuffs that you need to watch out for, because you may need to get marched 2 squares to the safe spot, or rather you will need to get marched 2 squares to a safe spot at some point in the fight. And this is affected by movement speed buffs, so you don't want to be sprinting during forced march. And RP walk does not work. It'll undo your walk status for the duration of the forced march. Okay, and then as for the actual weapon mechanics, Sword's phase is significantly different in Savage version. The boss will summon 3 clones and go untargetable. All 4 instances of Trinity Avowed will slash at the same time, and they'll slash such that either the 1, 2, 3, or 4 numbered waymark is going to be the safe tile. So 1, 2, 3, or 4, I will call out, will not be hit by any temperature slash. And you need to resolve your temperature by stepping 1 square cardinal of the safe square. So if you go diagonal, you're going to get hit by 2 slashes and die instantly. If you go 1 space cardinal, you're going to look for the slash that is of the temperature that you need. 1 hot, 1 cold, 2 hot, 2 cold. And then the bosses are just going to spin and slash again. So I will call out the second safe spot. And also, if you need time to figure out your temperature debuff, you can use that, like the second one, as your second chance, basically. Like during the second half of the fight, you may need to get hit twice, but otherwise, it doesn't matter which slash you get hit by, as long as you resolve your temperature to neutral by the end. And since the clones slash twice, the second slash is second chance. And then arrows. During when she pulls out a bow, she's going into arrows phase, and she's going to do the ladder game just like normal mode. There's going to be arrows of certain temperatures that are opposite the raid, and they're going to come towards the raid. And the rule that they use is they always take every intersection. They turn at every intersection that they come to on the way to the raid. And there's a diagram in chat. There's also a short video showcasing the mechanic. And you need to find the arrow that you need, that has the temperature that you need, trace its path down, and go to that square, or get forced march to that square. What was I going to say? Crap. Okay. Yeah. So, I don't call out whether this pattern is normal and inverted or which side is higher. I will just ask you to use your mouse, use your pointing device, your finger or whatever, to trace down the arrow that you need, trace its path, and then figure out where your safe square is. Okay, that's all the mechanics that I wanted to talk about. Trinity Avowed does a lot of damage with raid-wide attacks, so we're going to mitigate. Tanks are going to be mitigating for their party by using Lost Ether Shields on every raid-wide. The raid-wides are called Glory of Bozja. So when Glory of Bozja is casting, I'm going to call out Ether Shield, raid-wide, mitigate, and tanks are going to mitigate for their team. So 1 tank from each party needs to slot in Lost Ether Shield for this fight. And additionally, we are using Shell 2 to mitigate damage. So if you need Shell 2 to survive, for example, if you aren't a tank or you aren't someone with 10 fortitude, then you probably want Shell 2 to mitigate damage. And so that's if you want Shell 2, be behind the purple line. Once you have Shell 2, or if you don't need Shell 2, then cross the purple line. Also, if you advance past the C marker, you will pull the boss, so be very careful. Yeah, Spellforge and Steel Sting are no longer required, and yeah, I'll go back and try to answer. Probably Matt missed a bunch of questions. Okay, can you click off sprint during forced march? I'm gonna need to test that. Oh no, I'm ether shielding for my party. I still got 4 Blood Rage, so yeah, you need either 5 charges of your 2-minute actions, or like Blood Rage is a 3-minute action, so you need 3 of those. And as for like Cure 4 Dervish, just slot a new plate. And yeah, so Cure 4, like you are like the assistant healers. Like Cure 4 has an incredible amount of healing potency. So use that to keep your party topped up around the raid wides, called Glory of Boja. We are going to run ready checks. Make sure you have Shell 2 if you need it. Make sure a tank in your party has Ether Shield slotted. And report readiness in Shout Chat. Okay. Alpha, Bravo, Echo, Delta. Waiting for Charlie and Foxtrot. Foxtrot is ready. And Charlie is ready. All teams are ready. Use raid food. Check your tank stance. Rue is going to be the main tank. The first mechanic is a shared tank buster. Tanks up front, and pop a cooldown. This is a raid-wide Ether Shield, mitigate. Okay, please provoke the boss. Duelist has aggro. And we're getting away from the boss at the flash of light. And away from the boss now. It snapshots very early. Next, we're in front or behind the boss. We're behind the boss. Get behind the boss. The 3 marker is safe. Cursed. I'm sure our duelist is very happy right now, as are our Dark Knights using Blood Rage. Yeah, get in front of the boss. Get in front of the boss now. Get in front of the boss. On the triangle, in front of the boss is safe.
He's tilted.
Oh wait, it's tilted. Crap. I think it's fine. It was not fine. You're getting your temperature. Find out what you need to get hit by. Find out what you need to get hit by. I will call the safe square that is not getting hit by any slash. Safe spot is 1. Safe spot is 1. Diagonal of 1 means death. Okay. Second chance. The safe spot is 2. The safe spot is 2. If you're diagonal of 2, then you're dead. If you died, then pop a re-racer. Back on the boss. Next up is a mitigation event. Ether Shield, raid wide, mitigate. Oh man. Okay, we're getting away from the boss at the flash of light. And get away from the boss now. Snapshots very early. You're gonna check your temperature. You're getting forced march to the meteor that has the temperature that you need. So check your temperature and find out what you need to get hit by. Check your forced march. Check your forced march debuff. Check your forced march. You're getting forced march from the center of the arena to the temperature that you need. Getting forced march now. Return to the boss. If you res, then pop a re-racer. And Ether Shield, raid wide, mitigate. Okay, and we're going behind the boss. Be south of the 3 marker. Be south of the 3 marker. And you're checking your forced march debuffs. Tanks up front and pop a cooldown. Check your forced march. We're getting forced march to Bravo or Delta. Getting forced march to Delta. Look at your forced march. 2 squares. And return to the boss. If you re-raise in the fire, don't do any actions, walk out. Check your temperature and find out what you need to get hit by. You are manually moving your character to the arrow that you need, so find your arrow and trace it down. Arrows are firing now. Just kidding, they were firing like in 3 seconds. And return to the boss. Next is a raid wide. This is a raid wide, Ether Shield, mitigate. And next we're going in front of the boss, I think. Yeah, in front of the boss. Look at triangle, boss is a little bit tilted. In front of the boss is safe. This is 4th mechanic. Yeah, we're holding LB until 5th mechanic. Okay, check your elemental brand. You have 2 debuffs. Check what you need to get hit by. You may need to get hit twice. Look at your debuffs and find out what you need to get hit by. I will call out the safe spot. Okay, the safe spot is 3. The safe spot is 3. Find out what you need to get hit by. If you're diagonal of 3, then you're dead. Okay, the safe spot is 4. The safe spot is 4. Find out what you need to get hit by. Back on the boss. Ether Shield, raid wide, mitigate. Ether Shield, feint and addle. And next we are going away from the boss. So hold LB3. Do not use LB3. Get away from the boss now. Do not use LB3. Check your temperature. You're getting 1 more debuff. You're getting an elemental brand. You're getting 1 more debuff. Find out what you need to get hit by. You're walking to the meteor that you need. You're moving your character to the meteor that you need. And dodging Unseen Eye. Okay, outside, white squares, far intercardinal, all the way to the outside. Okay, after this raid wide, you're going to healer LB3, and I'm going to sacrifice onto my party. Oh, okay. That was bad. Oh, it could have been worse. Okay, hold... Okay, get behind the boss, get behind the boss. Get behind the boss and healer LB3, last chance. Press healer LB3. Okay, kill the boss. That was... Oh, that's so good. This is the ideal kill time. Oh my god, we actually have 0 dead bodies? Is that right? Okay, good job, gang. Okay, so, we need to unlock the secret encounter. So grab your chests. If you're new, then head south. If you want to do the thing, you can also head south and meet up in the hallway on the 1 marker. So if you're new to DRS, then please come and meet up on the 1 marker. Also, if you died and you have a re-raise in pocket, then use a re-raiser. Yep, so if you want to do the thing, then meet up at the 1 marker. All right. So we are going to unlock the secret boss. Please target yourself and slowly move close to this pink trap. And make sure that your hitbox is just slightly overlapping. Get very close. Everyone just, carefully step close. And on the... Okay. Sure, it's popped. Run! Go north. We have to unlock the boss. And you're small. If you have movement skills, then they're all fair game. So keep on running forward, keep on running onto the pad. And then proceed. If you're small, then just wiggle against the bars and go forth. And our winner is Tequila Indira. So there are traps downstairs. Do not proceed downstairs until you see the traps have been percepted. We'll wait for Lorianne to sweep. There are traps in the room, so do not go forward. There are traps in the room, and we are waiting for our preceptor to arrive. Oh, what's the second trap going to be? Poison on bridge. Go get him, Himbo. And carefully, do not run into these explosive traps. Okay. Bridge is clear of traps. And if you are mini, just be aware that you may receive a speed boost upon the debuff wearing off. Try not to pull the boss. So this is the secret encounter. This is the Stygimoloch Lord, Savage exclusive. And the main boss is not very dangerous, but once he reaches 70%, he starts the ads phase, which is rather deadly if not handled correctly. So I'm gonna have special roll. I need 3 reflect and 3 dispel. Reflectors on the C marker and dispellers on the D marker. I need tanks on numbered markers 1, 2, 3, and 4. I need 2 tanks on each of the numbered markers, preferably. Okay, sure. Okay, reflect, please stand on the Charlie marker. Spell, please stand on the Delta marker. And it seems like we have, at least 3, so 4 plus 4, go get him. Oh yeah, at least, okay. And, Ariane. Actually, could we have, we have 9 tanks, right? Except one of them is a fake tank. So actually, could I have Belthara come to the 2 marker? Could I have Belthara come to the 2 marker? And then we'll have... I guess we'll do this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I want to see Lorianne kite the Minotaur. Rue can keep the ignore 1 marker. 6. I'll keep the triangle marker. 8. Okay, and let's do this. Posts. Info. Right, so this is organization for the ads phase. Let's talk about the tanks on the numbered markers. So at the beginning of the ads phase, there are 4 Stygimoloch monks that appear, and they look just like the main boss, but they are angry. And their auto attacks give stacks of twice come ruin, so we need to kite them. Our tanks, our job is to kite the Stygimoloch lords by standing about 15 to 20 yalms in front of them. And on the outer ring, we're taking them for a walk clockwise. So the ads are not very dangerous while they're separated. While they're separated, they're very slow. They can be easily kited. When they get close to the center boss, or when they get close to each other, they speed up and start going on a massacre. So our setup is as follows. Hex 1, Hex 2, Hex 3, and Hex 4 tanks are going to be the main ad kiters. So at the start of the ads phase, they're going to make sure their tank stance is on. they're going to provoke their Minotaur and bring it for a little walk. So the Minotaur that you provoke will be on the cardinal direction of the marker. So for example, Velthara will be taking the east ad, Ada will be taking the south ad, Lorian will be taking the west ad. And also the cardinal markers for the actual fight will correspond to that. So they spawn close to the boss, pick them up and drag them to the outer ring. Don't let them get into melee range, and drag them clockwise. And the other tanks that are on the markers, who are not Hex 1, Hex 2, Hex 3, Hex 4. So that's going to be Hex 6, Hex 8, and also Rue and myself. We are going to be the backup tanks. So our job is, shortly after the ads phase begins, there's going to be an entrapment cast, and we have to make sure that the path is safe. So we're starting by standing on the main ad kiter, and just make sure that the ad is going in the correct direction. Be ready to take over, they die. And then once the entrapment casts, there's going to be yellow covering certain sections of the arena, basically the parts that aren't the cardinal safe spots. And there will be exactly one trap in each of those quarter circles. So the off tanks, the backup tanks, are going to turn on their invul, turn on sprint, and run the quarter lap in order to sweep the trap. And that will make it safe for tanks to proceed and make it safe for everyone else to move around. So right, everyone else who isn't a tank during that part, you're going to be hanging around probably the south cardinal in order to just wait for the Minotaurs to come to you and kill them. And yeah, so that's tanks rolls. Reflectors and Dispellers, during ads phase, you are going to be on the inner ring. And so Reflectors are going to be looking for balls of fire. They're going to press their Lost Reflect action, stand on the ball of fire. It'll cast Ban of Flame and die if you are reflecting. Dispellers are going to be dispelling the Stoneskin buff off of Balls of Earth, after which point they will put a dot or cast a broil or something, or even two, and do any amount of damage to kill the Ball of Earth after it has been dispelled. And so I said something about outer ring and inner ring, and this is helpful for everybody. I am walking on the outer ring right now. There's this lighter pattern of tiling, and this will be safe during ads phase. There's also a similar ring that is the inner ring, closer to the boss. So the inner ring is where the Dispellers and Reflectors are. Outer ring is where tanks and everyone else is. And outside of the rings is a death zone. Also turn your attention to these notches. There's one on the inside, one on the outside. They're periodically spaced along the ring every 1/8 of a, every 1/8 of a turn. And they are important for resolving mechanics, because there's one more debuff mechanic that this boss does during ads phase, called Labyrinthine Fate. I think it's called Labyrinthine Fate. Maybe. Okay, yeah, okay. Basically a debuff mechanic. If you check the raid text chat, there are two debuffs that you might get. One is a pushback from the center of the arena. So you need to start on the outside, and then when the debuff resolves with Fateful Words, call it out. You need to get to the safe spot and get pushed to an outside notch. If you're not starting inside a notch, for example, if you're over here, then you will get pushed into a death wall. And it's not fun. Okay, the other debuff has lines. Oh, I should have described what they look like. So the push out debuff is the first one posted in raid text chat, and it's the guy flying away. The Minotaur is like power posing on him. The second debuff has a bunch of lines, 3 lines going towards the Minotaur, and that is a pull in debuff. So you need to start at the outside notch and get pulled in. And yeah, so for any auditory learners, this is what the spaghetti debuff is gonna sound like, because the lines going into his mouth are spaghetti. He's gonna do this to you. He wants you for dinner. So you need to start an outside notch in order to avoid getting sucked into a death wall. And on the other hand, if he's power posing on you, he's going Fusro Da, and he's gonna send you back. He's gonna push you back from the center. You need to start on the inside, because he's gonna do this to you. And so I hope that auditory explanation helps clarify the debuffs. One is pull in and one is push out. And if you have the spaghetti suck in debuff, you need to start on the outside. And everything else is just dodge the telegraphs. So I will have all teams run ready checks while I put up markers and report in shout chat. I'm getting deja vu. Okay, good, found it. So Alpha's ready. Alpha, Charlie, Foxtrot, Echo. Waiting for Bravo. Okay, Bravo's ready. And waiting for Delta to be ready. Yeah, so backup tanks, remember who you were standing with on the markers at the back there? That is the tank that you were following at the start of Ad's phase. Oh, Delta is ready. Wait, hang on. Charlie, Foxtrot, Echo, Alpha, Bravo, Delta. That's all teams ready. So we're going to pull the boss. And Rue is still going to be our main tank. So hold your burst at the start of this fight. Just use your 1 minute cooldowns and save your 2 minute burst for the ads phase. The ads need to die as soon as possible. And the first cast is a Tank Buster, and it cleaves. And look for your knockback immunity button. You can press your knockback immunity now. Press your knockback immunity. And dodge 3 whacks. There are 3 whacks. It's easier to dodge if you're close. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Get ready to get far from the boss. Far from the boss now, very far. Boss is at 72. Boss is at 71. 70. Ads phase. Tanks get into position. Tanks turn on your tank stance if you're kiting an ad. Now, pick up your Minotaurs and take them to the outer ring. Dispellers and Reflectors to the inner ring. Yep, just taking clockwise. Looking good. Looking good. Entrapment, get to a Cardinal. Off tanks, run your ad sweep. Okay. Yep. Check your debuffs. Spaghetti to the outside. They're resolving right now. Check your debuffs. Spaghetti to the outside. Okay. And scatter from the 3 marker. Get into a notch. Get into any notch. Notches are safe. Start scattering from the 3 marker. We're dodging puddles on the ground. Rending bolts. And looking good. Just kill these last 2 Minotaurs. Debuffs are going out. I think we're skipping. Check your debuffs. Last Minotaur, just kill it. Oh. Get into a notch, get into any notch. And respect the balls. There is a ball of fire. It needs to be reflected. Respect the ball. Respect the ball. Okay. Next is a raid wide. So close to the end of the fight. Is our dice user alive? Close to the end of the fight, we'll... actually, no. We'll just use a rise to pick everyone up. Okay, drop these at the outside of the arena. They persist, so after you take damage, move. And now get far from the boss. Get very far from the boss. Okay, return to the boss. There's 2 more sets of rapid bolts. So take these to the outside of the arena, drop them, and then move. Everyone else, stack in the center of the arena. We're baiting Crushing Hoof. And now get away from the prox... Oh, okay, we're outranging this. Go to the 2 marker and stay at the 2 marker. Stay at the 2 marker. Wait for 3 whacks. We are outranging this. Stay at the 2 marker. You're outranging 3 whacks. 1, 2, 3, outrange. And back on the boss. Next is a Tank Buster. Next is a Tank Buster. Look for your knockback immunity button. And you can press your knockback immunity now. Press your knockback immunity. Oh, that was slightly late. Okay, dodge these 3 whacks. It's easier to dodge if you're close. And now mechanics repeat. This is a raid wide. Build up some gauge. Build up some gauge for the final encounter. Okay, we're gonna resolve our dead. I would like to ask for people to not pop the cutscene so that we can res without interruption. So, wow, was there some like battle rising going on? There's fewer people than I thought that would be dead. Okay. Okay. All right. Optimus is gaming. Good luck. Very good luck. So yeah, we have 2 more dead. 3 more dead. 3 more dead. One more? One more. Yes, this one has a chest, and you can get all chests starting at the Queen's Guard arena from this section. Yep. And so now, if you loot this chest, you should have completed all 5 gear tokens, completed the gear progression for this raid. So now let's move on up to the final boss. Oh, and we got some good markers placed down. So there's a good luck RNG manipulation marker. They're very important. So gaze upon them in their glory. And enjoy cutscenes. Oh, you meant, is there a way to go back to the... No, yeah. Once you fill up with lost actions at the start of the raid, you cannot refill it in any way. So what you jump with is everything you got for the whole instant. Okay, I want to do some Ether Shield. Or sorry, not Ether Shield, re-raise. So, but let's wait for people to come out of cutscene. And then hopefully someone else has lost re-raise so that I can mimic. Okay, but we're gonna... Okay, yeah, people are not yet out of cutscene. But here's what we're gonna do. At the back of the bridge, people with re-raise are gonna stand on 1. People with the lost re-raise action are gonna stand on 1. And people who are out of re-raisers are gonna stand on 2. So if you're out of re-raisers, if you have none in the bag, and you do not have a re-raise applied, then please stand on the 2 marker. And if you have a cast of lost re-raise, then you're standing on the 1 marker. Okay. Okay. Oh. 1 more cast. All right, and then yeah, so if you notice that you don't have the re-raise buff, then go to the back of the bridge. I think otherwise, oh, Tiny Ted. All right, let's give, okay, I'll slot in my Mimic. And Soraeus has got Re-raise active. Oh, Iroha needs one? Okay. Where is number 8? Yep. And 1 for Tiny Ted. Oh, okay. Ooh, that was close. I almost re-raised myself. Alright. Let's have, okay, let's do this. We only have 2 pure invuln tanks. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna swap the second buster. So let's have 3 tanks on 2. And then I guess Navi, you can be on 1. You'll be soloing the buster. And Gardenia, you can be on 3. You can also solo that. Or actually, I guess we only need 2 tanks on 2. Alright, so it'll be Rue and I. Okay, let's do this. Mark tanks. And also, if you have a Lost Dispel, I would like a few Dispellers to stand on the D marker. Okay, right. Mark tanks. Navi, 1. Rue is 2. I am 3. Actually, I'm gonna stay triangle, marking myself as a numbers. Okay, so this is how the busters are going to work. So when the queen casts Cleansing Slash, she hits twice, and each hit does quite a bit of damage, and it applies debuffs. It applies Doom, it applies a heavy bleed, and applies physical vulnerability up. And so you can ignore all 3 of these by using a pure invuln, basically zeroing out the damage. So when the queen first casts Cleansing Slash, Navi is going to press Super Bolide and take 2 hits. And after 2 hits, Rue is going to provoke the boss and carry it until the second tank buster. Since we don't have 3 pure invulns, we are swapping second. We're swapping second buster. And so Rue will take the first hit. They need an Asuna. They're taking it with all their cooldowns. And so during the cast, I will take the second hit of the tank buster with all my cooldowns. And I may also need an Asuna. And then after I take my second hit, Gardenia is going to anchor. They're going to take the boss for the rest of the fight. And do the final invuln. And Dispellers on the D marker. Your responsibility is to dispel the boss when the encounter bar hits 100%. So the encounter bar mechanic is called Sovereignty. When Sovereignty hits 100%, you will hear a very distinct ding, like the microwave going off. And so when that happens, we need to reflect lightning orbs, and we need to dispel the 4 debuffs off of the boss. So the 4 people on the D marker, when the Sovereignty boss hits 100, you're going to activate your light curtain if you have one, and dispel all the buffs off of the boss. So keep dispelling until all 4 of the buffs have been dispelled. And yeah, so everyone else, Sovereignty bar is, when that hits 100, that's a very dangerous mechanic, because there are 5 lightning orbs that appear around the arena. They're floating in the air, and they pulse in a somewhat large AoE for lethal damage, like 300,000 damage a hit. So you need a light curtain to survive, or Lost Reflect. If you do not have 2 light curtains, you're in danger. So if you do not have 2 light curtains, for example, just drag them onto your bar from your Lost Finance holster. If you do not have 2 light curtains, you need to scatter from the party when you hear the microwave go ding. So when the Sovereignty bar hits 100%, you need to get away from the party, and you need to get away from all lightning orbs until a lightning orb dies and produces a bubble. The bubbles are safe. The lightning orbs are not safe. So that is if you do not have access to Lost Reflect, you need to scatter from the party. Okay, and yeah, let's do. So this is our special roles. We have Dispellers on D. We have our tanks. We're invulning first and third. We're swapping second buster. And I'm gonna put up my markers for Super Chess. So Super Chess, you may think, oh, this mechanic's so hard. But really that is not the case. Your job during Super Chess is to add up numbers. And they're going to add up to 5, 6, or 7. So you're going to get a debuff You're getting at 2 debuffs when the queen casts Queen's Edict. And it's going to be, 2, 3, or 4. It's going to be 2, 3, or 4 dots, and you add them up for a total of 5, 6, or 7. And I will call out the starting safe spot for each of the numbers. And it's going to be relative to the safe square being north. So the call out may sound something like back safe, wall unsafe. 5s on delta, 6s to the left of 5s, 7s to the left of 6s. And so I'm again counting by tiles. These are discrete tiles. So, if I say 5s on delta, you can be anywhere in the delta tile. 6s to the left of 5, that is relative to the safe square being in front of you. And that's, again, 1 tile to the left, and 7s to the left of that. And also if I say something like 6s in the corner, that's going to be the corner on the right-hand side, facing the safe square, because I am taking us down the right-hand wall, whether the safe square is north or south. So that is your responsibility. During Super Chess, you're going to receive 2 debuffs, add them up, and I will call out the safe spot for your number. And yeah, hopefully I don't murder the raid on the first mechanic. That would be tragic. Totally has not happened in the near past. Yeah, and also during... Oh, I need to actually mimic actions. Okay. Are any tanks with Blood Rage Ether Shield? Okay, Himbo's got Blood Rage Ether Shields. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to be non-villain today. Blood Rage on the right. I have to cross over my index finger over my thumb. It's so painful. Okay, not really. This fight does a lot of damage. So 1 tank from each party will continue to use Lost Ether Shield. You only need like 8 charges, I think. And if you have an extra Ether Shield in your bag, the purpose of that is to reset the cooldown if we see Soften Rage, which I doubt, unless I kill the party at Murder Chess. Okay, and also, so Shell 2 also will be needed to mitigate the raid wides. The names of the raid wides are Empyrean Iniquity and God Save the Queen. God Save the Queen is a one-off, but yeah, so I'll call out when to mitigate for your party. That is all I have to say, so I'm going to ask for all teams to run ready checks for the final time, because this is the final encounter. You've made it all the way to the end. In terms of like reclears, you can join basically any run that's labeled as a reclear now, because you have beaten Trinity, Avowed, and Rage, or you only need to have seen Trinity, Avowed, and Rage, but we smashed it. So yeah, I mean that's fine. That just means that you don't need to hear explanations. But yeah, so you've completed Prague, and let's check who's ready. Alpha, Charlie, Foxtrot, Delta, Bravo, Echo. All teams are ready. Navi Ebonstar will be pulling the boss, so they have tank stance on at the start. 30 seconds on the board. Use raid food, use lost actions, use everything you got, because this is the final fight. And yeah, so Navi, when you pull the boss, you can just sort of stand in front of it with the raid. You don't need to pull it anywhere forward or back, just where it is fine. And so good luck, have fun, and let's do this. And again, you can stack with us if you want. So the first cast is a raid wide. Ether Shield, raid wide, mitigate, faint, addle, reprisal. And now we're doing Murder Chess. So chessmen are going to march into the arena. Those rows are not safe. So middle row not safe. South row not safe. And alpha column not safe. 1 column not safe. I'm going to pay attention to North Swain's Glow, which will force us in a cardinal direction. It's west. We're going behind the 1 marker. The 4 marker is safe. The 4 marker is safe. 4-way mark is safe. Do not be in the center row. And oh wow, I moved way too early. The 1 marker is safe. Just this row that we're on is here is safe. Middle column is not
Center
safe.
unsafe.
This is a tank buster, so Navi is going to ready their invuln. When they see the Cleansing Slash, Caspar, pop Super Bolide now. And Rue can turn on their tank stance. And provoke. Ether Shield, raid wide, mitigate. You're doing Super Chess now. Your responsibility is to add up your debuffs. And I will call the safe square, safe starting square. Okay, head north. Back is safe, wall is safe, 5s on 4, 6s in the corner, and 7s on 3. 5s on 4, 6s in the corner, and 7s on 3. 5s on 4, 6s in the corner, and 7s on 3. Right. Okay, and the wall is safe. Go to the 4 column and march down the 4 column. Run out your debuff. If you see a line above your head, move back a space. If you see a line above your head, then you need to move back a space because you moved too far. And now end in the safe square. If you die, then die and re-raise in the safe square. And now we're back on the boss. The next thing, yeah, use your cooldowns, use your bursts, use your actions. And next is a raid wide. And Ether Shield. Faint Addle Reprisal. Mitigate. Next is the Encounter Bar mechanic. So look for your light curtain. Look for your light curtain. If you do not have a light curtain, go away from the lightning orbs. And press your light curtain now. Light curtain. If you're not reflecting, then go away from the ball lightning. If you're not reflecting, then go away from the ball lightning. Dispel the boss. One more debuff. Get into a bubble. Get into any bubble. Bubbles are safe. And next up is Relentless 1. Look at the gunner who is at northwest inside the numbers. That is where you need to point your hole to. Tethers are going to wind and non-tethers to lightning. If you're tethered, you're going to swirly wind puddles. If you're non-tethered, you're going to crackly lightning. Northswain's Glow is forcing us to a cardinal direction. East, go east, A marker. And point your tethers to wind, non-tethers to lightning now. Point your hole to the gunner, point your hole to the northwest. And now to a turret on the wall. Point your hole to a turret on the wall. This is a tank buster. I will take the second hit. Okay. And Asuna. Oh. Okay. And tank 3 provoke. Tank 3 provoke. Is tank 3 up? Okay. Gardenia, you can provoke whenever. So this is Relentless 2. We are getting knocked perpendicular to the Night Tether on the side that the Queen is not slashing. Okay, big open safe spot. Right on the triangle, right on the plus marker. Observe the tethered clones. Tethered clones swing. Small safe spot, small triangle. Opposite Charlie. Triangle and plus marker, small safe spot. And tank 3 can provoke whenever you're ready. Okay. This is Ether Shield, raid wide, mitigate. Oh, I forgot to call use 2 minutes. At least use your 1 minutes here. This is Super Chest 2. It's exactly the same thing. So, add up your debuffs. And head to the north. And it's back safe, wall is safe. 5s on Bravo, 6s in the corner, 7s on 3. 5s on Bravo, 6s in the corner, 7s on 3. 5s on Bravo, 6s in the corner, 7s on 3. 5s on Bravo, 6s in the corner, 7s on 3. The wall is safe. We're going to the 4 column. Go to the 4 column and march out your debuff. If you see a line above your head, move back a space. If you see a line above your head, move back a space. And now head to the safe square. And in the safe square. If you die, just die, because we have healer LB3 and we'll pick you right back up. So healers, look at your LB3 gauge, and when you see it ready, then just send it. And tank 3 is going to invuln Cleansing Slash. So use healer LB3 and pick your people up. If both healers in your party are down, then mark them. And Gardenia will keep the boss. Relentless 3. Stack up on triangle. Stack up in front of the boss. Stack up in front of the boss. We are baiting the knight. Shield Omen. We are going to be close to the knight. For real this time. Close to the knight on the side without the French fry. To the left. Small movement inside the knight. Small movement. Okay, and now dodge these turrets. Thinking about dispelling and reflecting. Dodge these turrets. Think about dispelling and reflecting. Press your light curtain. If you're not reflecting, then scatter. If you're not reflecting, then get away from ball lightning. Okay, wow, we smashed it. Okay. Kill the boss. We're done. Oh, I'm kidding. Wow, we... Okay. Didn't even need to get into a bubble. It's not a missed call if we skip the mechanic, am I right? Okay, so we are so picking everyone up today. So enjoy your cutscene, and after people are out of cutscene, we are going to spend our arises, spend our sacrifices if you want, and take a screenshot of the back. Yeah, I gotta say, we were absolutely pumping. So, I mean, for an any prog run, for like 14 new clears, that's awesome. So in the chest, you'll receive a complete armor augment upgrade that can make one of your Law's Order pieces of gear dyeable. And it'll also give you a slick haste buff inside the Save the Queen areas, including right here. So let's pick up our final dead. Yeah, and also, yeah, so like the other thing in the chest is like a Save the Princess minion, which I have way too many of, as do most people who do DRS. And there's a Fragment of Loss and a Fragment of Deception. Fragment of Deception may be the last thing that you need to complete your Lost Finds cache. So all deaths have been resolved. Pick up your loot and strike a pose at the back of the arena, next to the tree. So at this point, we have completed the raid, but there is a ceremony that we like to do on LEGO Steppers or on Ether. So if it is your first time clearing, so after we finish taking screenshots, the celebration will be held on Ferry. So world travel to Ferry, and if you're new, you're going to claim your mount, your Cerberus, and wait at the main Aetheryte at the Domain Enclave for instructions. Everyone else, you know what to do. So yeah, congratulations to all our first-time clearers. Have fun taking your screenshot. And when you're finished, beat up on Ferry. Ferry is the server that the celebration is happening on.